Today's Tuesday, it's the 29th of May, it's 2024, and just coming up to 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm down in Santa Ponsa. Been doing my granddad duties in Majorca this afternoon, and thought I'd just come out for a walk this evening just to get some fresh air and well, just come have a little walk. And Santa Ponsa beach is looking pretty much back to normal, back to its summer self. There's still a bit of work to do because they're just starting to lay the boardwalk here, which will help anybody with a pushchair or a wheelchair get down to the beach and get a little bit closer to the sea. That's all in progress by the looks of things, but all the beds are out, and the sun umbrellas. Sun umbrellas here don't have the safes that you have on some of the beaches, so just be careful with your belongings.
Oh yeah, you won't have.
Shops now on the other side are all looking really quite good now. They've done a lot of work over the winter time, and many of them had to, well, they all had to close down at some point, and so we would do that normally anyway. Most of the businesses closed down. Maybe one or two would stay open in the winter, but most of them would close down, so it wasn't too much of a hardship to have the whole places redeveloped, assuming they came back with the same rent. Nice to see the beach bars open, so you can come have a drink and just watch the boats on the water. Temperatures at the moment for me are what I would say are perfect. It's warm in the day and cooler at night. So mid-20s, 25, 26 I'm guessing in the day, but it does get a bit cooler in the night, so perhaps do need a jumper, a jacket or a cardigan. But we haven't got that intense heat that goes through the night, which makes it uncomfortable for sleeping. This promenade here is actually quite slippy. It's very clean, but it's quite a slippy sort of surface. I thought I'd walk along this side, so it might be a little bit more in the shade because the sun's going down. We'll see. Still quite a lot of people in the sea playing around. I picked the girls up this afternoon. The first thing they said to me, when you come next week, don't forget your swimming things and go for a swim. Well, maybe. It will be June by then, I suppose, so yeah. So it's 7 o'clock now, so people are having their sundowners or they're getting ready for dinner. Many people, I suppose, will already be in the hotels and already going down for their evening meal. This area is all being cordoned off for some reason. I'm not sure what that is. A lot more boats out in the bay than last time I was down here. I don't know if it's just me, but the surface is very slippy today. Don't know what that is. Change over to a wooden, well, I think this is plastic wood, which is not so slippy. See how calm the water is and nice and clear. All the news over the past few days has been about the protests that happened last weekend and still lots of reverberations, lots of concern by everyone that's involved, and it's certainly not finished. And we'll see what the government has come up with, and what the different groups that are protesting might come up with. It's not one group. It seems to me as though there are several parties that are interested in causing some sort of a disruption. So there is a plan at the moment for invasion of the beaches. Not sure whether we're going to do D-Day landings or what's going to happen, but they talk about an invasion of the beaches, which is, I think, what it's really talking about is that before the mass tourism, one of the things that Spanish people, anybody that was living on the island, liked to do, you've done a week's work, a weekend, you go to the beach, and that's becoming difficult because of the sheer number of people that are on the island, and some beaches just become inaccessible at the weekends. So, well, they want it to go back like it used to be. I think, I don't know, yeah, it's one of the comments many people make is be careful what you wish for, and it's so very true. The island does survive because of tourism. People here make their money through tourism. Some people make a lot of money, and some people survive or barely survive. The minimum wage here is not very much at all, and is not really an amount of money that you could easily live on the island, if you could live on it at all. So I think I can understand their issues. This invasion of the beaches, by the way, is about one specific beach, and it's not on this side of the island at all. So I don't think it's anything for anybody in Santa Ponsa to worry about. People already tucking in their dinner. It's only just 7 o'clock, which is very, very early to be dining. Curiously, this isn't open. This pool, usually full of water, and not sure what's going on there. So little boats, all the dinghies, these little tenders to some of the boats that are out there, I suppose. So all the trouble that we're having does upset me, and someone said, you know, you're always painting a picture of the island as this beautiful, idyllic place to live, and suggesting really that I wasn't telling the truth. And I don't see it as a place of disruption and protest. And my reply was that I have lived here now for nearly 40 years, and I have never seen a protest like the one that was on Saturday. I've never actually seen one of those. I've never been a witness to it. And things like that are quite rare, and they're only in certain areas and small areas, and I do feel sorry for anybody who did get caught up in it. And it must have been quite a frightening experience. But if I'm walking along here, this is idyllic. This is my life. This is how we live. This is where we go. We don't seek out trouble. And I didn't actually go to the protest. I knew it was going to happen. And at one point I did think of going. And the only reason I would be going is to make a video of it. And perhaps I'm glad I didn't go. And then I haven't made a video of it. But it happened, and we can't ignore that. And we can't ignore the reasons for it happening. So I just have to wait and see what comes of it and how the government responds and the other parties that are involved. I'm just having to negotiate myself between sunbeds and a 2-foot drop. My own feeling is that what needs to be done is to reduce the number of holiday lets. That's the Airbnb type lets. It's very difficult to get a license, almost impossible to get a license to rent out an apartment. So if you see an apartment that's for rent for a holiday in somewhere like Palma Nova, it's unlikely to be legal unless it's with one of the big hotel companies. They do have apart hotels, but if it's a place that's a domestic, then you're not going to get I've got to walk around here. You're not going to get those. They're not legally being rented, and if they are being legally rented, they'll have a license, and the way you find that out is they have a sticker or a plaque which has got the letters ETV on, and anyone who rents that hasn't got one of those will get serious fines when they get caught. And so over the last years or two, they've actually been scouring places like Airbnb to find places that are for rent on the island. This is the authorities here, and fining people. And the fines are big. They're really big, so big that if you get one of them, you're likely to lose your apartment. If it's a house or a villa, the situation's a little bit easier to get the license. So there are lots and lots of houses and villas on the island that do have these licenses. But the licenses are in the hands of the government. They can grant them or not grant them. And my own feeling is that they should now, well, certainly restrict new ones. And some of them that have had licenses for years and they come up for renewal, then they should think twice about allowing them. And so that those properties, instead of being rented to tourists, get rented to normal local people. And that, what it basically means is you can't have very short-term lets, you can only have long-term lets, and make them 3 years or 5 years as a requirement. Well, that's my idea. I'm just getting to that bit. So nature has taken its toll on a few times. And here we see, yeah, it's breaking away again. So I think when they come to repair this, they need to be doing a little bit more of a professional job on it rather than just laying a load of concrete. They need to be putting a bit of a structure in there, possibly some steel, and do a proper job. So without the Mission Impossible theme, I've managed to make it. And now I've got to go up the steps. And no Anita to say, be careful. They did do some repair work on the rail here, but it doesn't look very substantial. It's not too bad, actually. It's more substantial than I thought. All of these are private apartments. And the restaurant here that was blown away in one of the hurricanes that we had. Been repaired, but it's now still for sale. Just looking across the bay now. Don't know if you can see, but right in front over there is where the cross is, and just beyond that is where the entrance to the port of Santa Ponsa is. And to get there you've got to walk up the road which goes along, but then it's a port with lots of boats, really quite pleasant. Not a huge port, not huge boats, but nice. And there's some restaurants there. I'm going to go up towards the square, have a look to see what's going on up there. There's a restaurant for sale, that's the one, 192 places. That takes your fancy. Just looking down there, you can see the steps that at one time took you down to the beach, and they've also been taken away by nature. Right, I've got quite a few steps and quite a big walk up to the square now, so I'm sure I'm going to be doing some puffing and panting, and I think this is what I meant by a rickety rail, because it's actually gone. Anyway, I'll see you at the top. Well, I managed to get to the top of the steps. I've just now got to negotiate this path, which is quite steep, and well, it's all a bit uneven, so just watch my step as I go up here, and I'll see you at the top of the ramp. Well, I made it to the top without too much trouble, and now we can go up to the square. So as I turn around, there's a little square here by the taxi rank, and there are some benches there if you need a rest. Having walked up there, there's quite a few benches. There's also some bars and shops here if you're in need of some refreshment too. And then just across the road, well, that's where the square is. So, curious to see if anything yet is happening. It's a bit early for any of the events to go on. And they used to have, there's a big board up there, they used to have a board saying what acts are on, and that's not showing very much at all at the moment. So, just go in and investigate, I guess. Something on Wednesday. What's today? Maybe I'll be in luck. Square is surrounded by bars, lots of bars all the way around it. Plenty of places to have a drink and enjoy whatever entertainment might be on. So tonight at the Caledonian, there we go. It's Paul Martin, he's great, he is really good. Paul Martin, really enjoy him. Not until 10 o'clock, which is past my bedtime, of course. I'll be well tucked up by then. Maybe. Depends whether I've made this video or not. And then just there's the crispy cod. Oh, fish and chips. Oh, such a temptation. And here are the bars around the outside. Big screens, some of them, so you can watch the sports. Distractions for the children. Pool.
No, but it's by the beach that all the...
You see there's loads of seating capacity. They've actually got the name of the bars on them, whichever they are. And actually say no smoking. And there's the stage. That's the Caledonian over there. So yeah, why I never see any of these things is because they're all on a bit too late for me. It's funny, isn't it, how times change. I think there was a time in my youth when you wouldn't start going out until 10 o'clock at night. Many, many years ago. Just to point out, all of the places here are for sale or for rent. People having a drink here or having a bite to eat.
So they bring it out on the expectation that.
Right, so I could go back down the way I came, but I'm not. I'm going to be brave and carry on going up the hill. It's not very far up. And then I have the luxury of going down back into Santa Ponsa. If I carry on going that way, I go to Costa La Cama, which is another place which I've done lots of videos. It's a lovely walk by the sea there, and on the occasions when it's rough, it can be quite spectacular. And this is the bit of up I've got to do. I've just got to get up to the brow of that hill. Supermarket down there. The Burger Club. Gourmet smashed burgers. 100% Angus beef. Oh, I might like one of those. Hola, buenas. Muy bien, gracias. Well, nearly at the brow, and it's downhill all the way. trees have all had a good trim down here. So some of these are holiday apartments, so yes, you can get apartments for rent. And in order to have apartments for holiday, it's got to meet certain specifications like fire escapes and appropriate number of fire extinguishers and all those sorts of things that make safety at the front. If it's been rented through a tour company, I think you can be fairly safe that it's okay. It's the ones that are not through the conventional sorts of tour companies that we need to just take care of, make sure that they are properly licensed. So last year, or the year before, Airbnb and Booking.com, I think they were facing quite big fines for advertising places that didn't have licenses. You can see, you can tell when something is a holiday apartment and when it's a domestic apartment. It's got a bicycle hanging up on the terrace, then it's probably not a holiday apartment. And if you've got plants on the terrace, it's probably not a holiday apartment. I don't know why I would always walk this way around. It's much easier than the way we used to come. You can look down here, right down to the sea. There's one of the buses coming up. This is the number 122, Santa Ponsa to Costa Rica. I can imagine at this time of the year the buses are getting full at certain times of the day. That happens sometimes in some places. The buses will just have to drive past a stop altogether, which can be very annoying if you've already been waiting for half an hour and you've now got to wait for the next one, which you're never quite sure whether it's going to stop. So these are Verdemar. These are apartments and they are Baleares, so you know that you're pretty safe there.
Van. Get out of that room. That's good. I don't leave me on.
Don't care. Yeah, right. Let's go. My side.
Well, we're nearly down to the bottom now. Steps seem to be a thing in Santa Ponsa, so there's a lot of steps you could go down to get to see there. But if you really fancy getting some steps in, what about that? I don't think that's for me.
The beach holiday.
Smell of food. The rising sun. Tower shoes across the road there. This is the Bombay Indian that Anita and I went to some time ago and had a really enjoyable meal. And they've got a menu for 2 people for €34.95. That's a bargain, I think. Hello. We really enjoyed it there. Barbecue, nice grill there. And more steps. This is the Acapulco, and I'm with Anita. This is where we usually stop and have a drink. I'm not really the sort of person that likes to go to a bar and have a drink on my own though. So I'll wait till I get home. the strip, as you might call it, for Santa Ponsa, where all the bars are. It can get a bit rowdy in the evening, but again, it's a place which we wouldn't normally go to. And there are still people swimming in the sea down there. This is the sort of boardwalk that they're going to be putting down just a bit further along, and it just allows people with pushchairs and wheelchairs to easily get down to the sea. And on some beaches they've actually got even more assistance to help those that can't help them to get into the sea a little bit more easily, so that you can all enjoy it. Well, I'm pretty much back to where I started now. I think I've done my exercise for the day. So all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and well, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.